the other one? Sorry, that
Oh,
one.
it's over there, yeah.
If you want to start us off.
Today we got a 92 Ranger in here. We're doing a little general inspection. We also do like pre-purchase inspections, stuff like that. Just kind of like an overall, head to toe, look over, see what's going on, write down a little list, let them know what's up with this truck.
First thing that we like to look over when we get into an engine bay is any noticeable leaks or anything broken or anything odd, right? First thing that starts out is this intake tube is covered in oil. Okay? So something with this breather PCV system is not doing too well, or the engine has a lot of blow-by. We'll get into that later. But one thing, like if you're going to look at a car to buy, this is a horrible thing to see in an engine bay. Because what it means is that this engine profusely leaks oil and they have to constantly keep filling it up.
You said you didn't have to fill it that often.
Well, he doesn't, but that's what I know when I see that. It's the same thing like you see if you see a coolant tank or like a gallon thing of coolant under the hood, it overheats. That's pretty, like coolant's gone and it overheats. Essentially a trustworthy car won't really have that because you don't need to worry about it. But as we're seeing here, either that's from
probably
them spilling stuff, or the valve cover is leaking and then that actually is leaking as well. That tube is pinched off.
Yeah, I wonder if this being pinched off is not helping that any.
I'm sure it's
this
not.
This feels like it.
Isn't this?
This feels like coolant hose.
Fuel.
Oh.
It's fuel line. But yeah, that heavy of a kink is not doing anything good for relieving pressure out of the engine.
Probably say start with valve cover gasket.
Let's check the power steering fluid because that sounded horrible.
Well, these are always.
It didn't sound like the normal Ford though.
Ooh, steamy.
That means it's running hot. Oh, just pull. Doesn't look great, but
I mean, we can see if there's any leaks. It might just be cavitating.
yeah,
Why is it all wet over here?
it's wet everywhere, dude.
Well, yeah, but what? That would be from the intake filter.
Well, I mean, the
It's
valve
blow
cover
by.
on this side's really bad. This spark plug wire has oil all over it. This pickup tube is resting against the header.
Pickup tube.
I mean, the dipstick for the dipstick tube.
That's whatever. I don't know. Oh, it's got the little tumor on the back of the intake manifold.
It is about 1.5 quart low.
Not that bad.
What? This thing probably takes like 4.5 quarts. That's a lot of missing oil. Dude, there's so much oil everywhere.
I honestly think it's coming out of this.
Out
What
of
else
this?
would be making oil all like?
I mean, it is
all
wet
over
down here.
It's blow by.
Blow by is when the cylinders, like the
ain't
rings and the cylinders, aren't holding all of the compression inside the cylinder, and it goes past the rings into the crankcase. And then the crankcase gets a lot of pressure, and it comes out the PCV system or any kind of other vent tubes. And this has a vent tube going into the intake, which is actually a normal thing on cars. But a normal thing isn't so much blow by to have oil come out the bottom of your intake. Oh yeah, this is wet.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's probably
Yeah,
not
so-
good that it's leaking all over that wire harness right there either. Get
It's
brittle.
leaking.
Get brittle.
Um,
This is probably just leaking out of the hose right here.
return?
Well,
Oh.
it's for the reservoir.
Ooh, this is really full. Where's hot full?
Also makes me wonder it's been leaking down the side of the block for so long. I wonder if the mounts are shot. Because it looks like it's
I
been
wouldn't doubt it.
leaking down onto those.
You want to check motor mounts?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to show you how we check motor mounts. We need 2 people. So the first one goes inside the car, and to be safe, we usually set the parking brake and then turn the car on. As well as the parking brake being on, whoever's in the car puts a foot firmly on the brake pedal. If you're doing a manual, it's a little different, but on an automatic, you just put one on the brake pedal, one on the gas, and you put it in drive or reverse and essentially flex the motor. Ooh, I felt the clunk. Yeah, if you want to look down here, you can actually see, yeah, you can see the, let me get the light. Hold on. It does a pretty good clunk when you switch from one side to the other. Go ahead and do that. So yeah, right there's the motor mount.
Yeah.
You can see how much it's moving. It's a considerable amount. It's hard to tell right now. I can't really, like, they don't look good, but I don't know how bad they are. Like, they're not 100% shot. But they do, this moves a lot. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm just gonna say they're bad. That's not good. All right. I'm guessing the transmission mount has also failed because with that much oil going down, it's just going to keep going all the way back. But that's easier to see from underneath.
I wonder if it doesn't miss or it's just from the engine sitting there doing this.
I mean, the engine is definitely shaking a whole lot. It's the other thing too, like it could have a slight miss because of all the oil around the spark plugs.
Yeah.
Um,
But it's probably not like a fucking enclosed valve cover where it's like shooting the oil in.
I will say, when it comes to Rangers, the 3-liter V6 is the worst engine you can get in a Ranger.
Well,
The 4-liter V6 is great, the 4-cylinder is great. This one is the worst of the pick. I'm sure people have had great fun with them and they've lasted a long time, but this is the worst one.
I think we sold one of these recently. One of these engines. Remember?
For $400 with the transmission in
I
harness
think it was.
and ECU.
I think it was $250.
$250.
I wish I had it now, dude. It'd be like, hey, bro, you got blow by. We'd throw this in there.
That one was still shitty. Oh yeah, they also have a fix where
It also only had
this doesn't work right, and so you
40,000
cut a
miles.
but you cut a can open and you make a new gasket out of a soda can.
It has to be Pepsi.
It has to be a Pepsi can if you want it to work correctly. If it's not a Pepsi can, it's probably not going to work correctly.
Looks good. Smells good.
Is that leaking profusely as well? So they just keep topping it off.
Well,
Maybe that's actually what the funnel's for.
what did the oil look like? Oh,
It's
it's
dark.
full, bro.
That's full?
It's a little overfilled.
Oh.
I guess we'll see what's underneath.
Overfill could also be it's leaking.
Yeah. Oh. Look at this mount right here.
The motor mount?
No, that for the I-beam.
Oh. Oh God.
You just go ahead and snug that up.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Well, let's
Is the
check
other
the
side?
other side.
Yeah, is the other side doing that?
I'm guessing so.
Yeah, normally these have.
This one is still moving that.
Yeah, it's going to. Everything is connected.
Wow. Ooh, that is very tight. So this is aftermarket stuff, so this won't be on every Ranger you come across.
Yeah, but that's not good.
No, it shouldn't be taut.
I'm guessing that there's a reason why those look so new as well.
Yeah. The other thing too is stuff like this. You can see it on the other side. The tires weren't, or like this sway bar is not designed for this kit, and the tires actually hit the sway bar when you go full lock. I'm gonna check the rear real quick.
Any more than, oh God. Oh God.
Yeah, I know.
We
I think that
let's
one has
do
a
this.
bad wheel bearing.
Let's do this when it's like about to touch the ground.
Okay.
Because this is fucking
fine.
bad.
Well, essentially when you're under, or you're looking under a car, because you might not be on a lift, but anything leaking, stuff like this, like you can tell that it was leaking at one point, or it has a tiny seep. This isn't anything to be worried about. Nothing's leaking here. Make sure everything's bolted up. Essentially what we did with the front arms, where we were moving them back and forth, you can kind of do that on the ground. You just won't notice as much when it's on the ground because the weight's kind of helping keep stuff in place. But you can kind of grab the top of the wheel and just kind of shake it in and out. It shouldn't move. Nothing should move. What? I don't know
Oh.
what this is, but
Someone balanced it out, dude.
yeah. With magnets.
The train looks new. Maybe that's why the fluid looks so good.
Could be. They still overfilled it.
Well, this has got to be like a reman.
Is that mount? That mount looks new.
No, it's new.
Okay.
It honestly just looks like a profuse valve cover leak, and it needs engine mounts.
Oh.
Well, that's probably some factory stuff they just decided not to.
Fully cut out?
Yeah.
I wonder what that goes to.
I don't know.
Something that's not there anymore, I'll tell you that much. The front shocks, or this one's leaking? Or is this just intake leak?
I think that's just stuff coming down the.
Well, the bushing's bad.
Up top or down low?
This one.
Unless
Yes,
it's,
sir.
Unless it's
Yay!
unless it's not tight.
I mean, it also could not be tight because of oil destroying the bushing.
Rotor looks a little glazed on the back. Pad is not that bad.
Yeah.
Maybe 4. What do you
A
think?
4? Yeah, probably 4 or 5. Oh, here's one thing that actually is on this that this goes with any car, but it tells you that there either was a problem or is a problem. If we come back here to this wheel, you see the tiger striping across that? So that means that something was flinging fluid. And this looks like it has new rear drums. So I'm hoping that they also did the slave cylinder or wheel cylinders.
Well, you can see the bleeder valve looks new, so it's
Yeah.
probably a new.
So they did the wheel cylinders, although this one feels like it has a bad wheel bearing, so they kind of missed that. But yeah, that's something to look at when you're looking at cars is anything on a wheel tells you that things have either been flung or are flinging. Yeah, those motor mounts probably are bad. They definitely don't hold this engine very well. But when you're looking at oil leaks, you want to start at the highest point and work your way down.
So, I mean, overall, not a bad little pickup truck. Anything that's this old is going to need a little bit of work. We went ahead and tightened up his front suspension for him so he didn't die on the drive home. Aside from that, I think we just got a profuse valve cover leak mixed with some blow-by. That those two things probably why we got oil over the place. So what we're going to recommend is replacing those valve covers, cleaning it all up, and then we're going to keep an eye on it over the next couple thousand miles and see if any other oil leaks pop up. But aside from that, she's out of here.